back to the channel, everybody. Another wonderful show of That Range Lifer Show, sometimes about golf over there. Chris McEwen, my guy, at Chris McEwen everywhere. Follow, do the things. Bill Bush, DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on all the social medias. As always, before we get going here, go down below, hit subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified every goddamn time we post a video here on this channel. While you're down there, just be proactive. Give us a thumbs up, a like. It helps with the algorithm, and this channel is going to blow up. We'll hit that 1,000 subscriber mark before you know it. Giveaway time. What's going to be in that giveaway?
Yeah, stuff.
You'll find out.
Golfy stuff, for sure.
You'll find out, and you won't want to miss it. All right. Yeah. Let's just get right into it today. Chris, we have guests coming on. We have guests on the show. It's been a while since we've had a guest. Right? I don't know. When was the last time we had a guest? Like months ago.
Who was who? I don't know who the last draft we did. Right?
No, thought I had it. Don't have it. You know, it doesn't matter. It was a long time ago.
Well, we had Adam Unfiltered on. We had Adam Unfiltered on to the serial draft. That was probably the last.
I think that might have been it. Yeah. Well, anyway, we have guests today. The guys from Noonan Golf up in Minnesota.
There they are.
Joining us.
There they are. Hey, guys. Hey, fellas.
Joining us. Friends of the program. Friends in real life. Great Midwesterners. Happy to have them on board. Chris, you've had them on Golf Origin Stories before.
It's true. Bill, do you want to talk about what we discussed on that podcast, on that episode?
No, because I tell you, I don't listen to the podcast. I have no shame in it. I feel zero guilt about it.
I'll let the guys talk. So, I had them on. Bill, you introduced me to the brand with the hat that you're wearing. And I immediately I said, like, where did that thing come from? Because it's amazing.
Yes.
And then, you connected me to Miles and Mark, or Marcus. If you listen to the podcast, you'll get that joke. But, and then we had him on the show. So, guys, kind of introduce yourself. Miles, you start, and we can talk a little bit. We'll do a quick little origin story about you guys. And because Miles is a really interesting – well, the two of them both, the fact that
Miles, you're very interesting. No offense, Marcus. You're not.
I am.
That's not true. That's not true.
For sure.
It's his beige background. I'm pretty bored.
That's good point.
But their Golf Origin stories are very, very different, which is interesting. So, Miles, go ahead.
Yeah. So, my name is Miles Marmo. I'm one half of Noonan Golf Co. I am, as Chris said, my Golf Origin story. Like, I'm a COVID golfer. I inherited a set of clubs. And I know nothing about the sport, so I offer very little in terms of golf knowledge, but plenty in the fun realm, I guess. So I'd say the only other thing about Noonan Golf for me, like Marcus came to me with this great idea to start this brand. And I get to be kind of the brand steward in terms of visuals and stuff like that. Obviously with Marcus's deep knowledge of 80s and 90s, but yeah, so excited to be here. Thanks for having us on, guys.
The brand steward,
Mark.
Steward.
Yeah.
Brand steward.
And you had a different, Mark, you've had a different sort of golf upbringing.
Yeah, a little bit. So I grew up around the game a little bit. So I caddied at a young age, and then also did kind of the youth leagues and played with some friends growing up as well. So it wasn't my main sport. I was mostly like basketball and soccer, but golf was kind of that outlet in the summer just to get out and enjoy the weather and play with some friends. So more recreational than anything. So I was never a serious golfer, never played in a real match, never probably kept a real score. So I think
you fit right in to this channel, this group.
Perfect. Lots of mulligans. We just had to have a blast and go out there and play. So I think that was kind of the origin of Noonan, and that's kind of the feeling that we want the brand to have is get outside, have fun. Don't be up. Golf doesn't need to be stuffy. Golf doesn't need to be overly expensive. So then that was kind of the origin of kind of the brand and what we wanted it to be.
Yeah. Fun fact about these two, William, you guys both speak Chinese. Was that
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can actually call distributors, manufacturers and things and have a legitimate discussion with them.
Yeah, we can. A lot of it's done via chat app.
Okay.
And sometimes they do translations via the chat app automatically. So sometimes I've done it a few times where I've just sent it in Chinese and you can tell they're like confused at first. Like, wait, it like reverse translates to the wrong one. But yeah, no, it's fun to do and it's fun to use and something that I've wanted to use in a job for a while. So it's fun to be able to use it now.
Yeah.
The pet names are really nice too. Marcus gets called Deer a lot.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's
Feels
funny.
Really condescending.
In my day job, where I'll just say certain regions of the world I have to deal with, I'm like, I didn't realize we were this familiar. Thank you. But,
yeah, my wife got jealous of all the heart emojis and kissy faces I was getting.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Is there what's the equivalent of deer in the States? Is it deer is it deer or does it mean like sir or something else? Is it a translation thing or is that just
no, I think it's just like a sense of endearment. I think they're just trying to be polite.
Okay.
But it comes off as like if I was just to be like, hey, pick it up, bud. Like it's more just it's really condescending.
Guy. Okay, guy.
Like, why aren't you ordering 100,000 towels, dear?
it's probably not unlike the way Chris talks to me. Like, come on, dear. Like, oh, Jesus, sorry.
Right. If I'm using guy, I mean it's not a nice.
Yep, that's exactly what
chief.
It feels like when it comes to
I love the use of guy.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But you guys are practically Canadian, so of course you do. Like guy, chief, all that stuff's just second nature.
Yeah.
There was I don't know if you guys watch Arrested Development, but we're listening to Smartless, which is the podcast that Bateman and Arnett are the co-hosts. But they talked about like in Arrested Development, they would call each other guy for like a full season. They were doing it, and they fell in love with it too, and they just loved using it. And it wasn't in the script. They're just like, "Hey, guy, come here."
Hey, guy.
So one of the things I think I enjoy about Miles' story here, in terms of he's a COVID golfer, is like, you know what, I'm going to golf now. Think about how much we've talked about on this show, with Adam Unfiltered on his programs, you name it, that don't worry, we're confident the golf industry will not capitalize and maintain the gains it got out of COVID, right? And one of my things is always golf is so bad at going, the consumer wants this, give it to them. And I think in Miles's case, it's like, I'm a consumer, golf called to me during COVID. I'm a great target audience for this time of in history to capitalize on. And the market will be like, nah. Don't worry. He doesn't know. We'll tell the market what they want, not the guy who's like, you know what? I just came to it. I'm exactly who we're all going for right now. Target what I want to do. I think people want this. Nah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what a COVID golfer wants. He wants to belong to a really stuffy country club that is 150 years old and knows all the old hickory golfers' names.
Yeah, that's immediately. I felt like that was missing in my life,
right.
Bill. You know what? It was the point of you know what? I should probably join a country club, pick up golf.
Exactly.
No,
it's refreshing. Is all I can say. It's refreshing.
It's a fascinating sport. I mean, Marcus and I, we've known each other since third grade, in part because we played on sports teams together. So there is some athleticism in this body, but golf is fast. It's a fascinating sport, and it's also incredibly intimidating to start if you know nothing about it. Right? Like again, I inherited a set of clubs. If I didn't have someone like Marcus to help guide me through like what I actually needed, or we even joke about like what you wear on a golf course. Right? There's an etiquette side of it, like. To me, I'm like, I don't want to participate in any of that. I just wanted to get outside and see friends. You know, the older you get, you've got families, you got kids, you got other priorities. It was a good excuse to see your buddies, but like you had to buy into all of this other stuff to do it. That just sounded ridiculous to me.
Well, God help you if you don't.
Right. I mean, the nice thing when we chatted with Chris on his podcast that you don't listen to, Bill, the positive, like it has been a really receptive sport at the courses that I have played. I mean, it's all been public courses, and it's been a really wide array of people that have either started it or continuing to play or whatever. So that is super encouraging. But to your point, like, there are brands obviously that have taken advantage of the pandemic. We're one of them. But I think what makes us different is we're trying to speak to a broader audience. Marcus already said, right? We're trying to make it affordable. We're trying to give back and get people more involved at a younger age. I mean, those are the things that are kind of near and dear to us that I wish I would have had, when I was in middle school, high school, whatever, and been exposed to the sport earlier. It doesn't need to be intimidating. And in fact, it should be fun and expressive and colorful. And it also doesn't need to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of like bringing it to the people or making it entertaining, who is the dude on your social media channels on like TikTok and Instagram? Who is this guy?
It's a good friend of mine. So I met him. So he's actually a friend of my wife's from high school. They both went to high school in upstate New York. So small world that I met him in Minneapolis, of all places. He was the head of in-game operations for the Timberwolves at the time. So he did kind of all the mascot interactions and all the weird skits that you see between during timeouts. And I was introduced to him, and he loves to dance. He did all the scripting, all the videos and all this stuff. So like when TikTok came out, he was like, this is for me. Like, this is built for me. Yeah. So he's gotten all in on TikTok. So we hit him up early and we're like, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. Miles and I are pretty strapped from a time standpoint. Would love your work on, the Noonan brand on social, and kind of gave him free reign. And obviously he's come up with some awesome stuff. Really fun, really engaging. It's been awesome to have Aaron on the squad.
So many things like fell into place here in that story. Like, oh, okay. I get it now. I get it.
It's a small world.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, Chris, shall we?
Yeah, I guess the rule is, and you guys already know, we told you when we started to line this up, we made a rule. If any guests come on the show, we have to do a draft of some kind. And we try to let the guests choose the draft. And you sent me, I think, Mark, you sent me a couple different ideas. Because I think it was you through the email chain. And we decided we were going to do 4 rounds of movies between the years 1985 to 1995. We have a 10-year span there of draft eligibility. We don't have intern Grant here, Bill, to fact check our pick, so we're just going to have to. I'm sure there's going to be some overlap.
If there's dispute, I will handle it.
Okay. Right. Bill is the date fact checker official. Yep. All right. So the way we do this, fellas, is I have a draft randomizer for order. All right. We don't give any, just because you're guest doesn't mean you automatically get the first 2 picks. It's not how it works. We randomize the whole thing. So I'm going to hit the randomizer. All right. Results are in. First pick of the draft. Well, here's the order. Miles, number 1 pick.
Dude.
I'm the number 2. Bill, you're 3. Mark. So Mark,
snake
it's
draft,
a snake
right.
draft.
Snake draft. So there we go. All right.
Yeah, you get the 4th pick and the 5th pick. And then, we'll go from there. Whether or not we keep track, sometimes we'll lose track of whose pick it was. So we'll just have to keep each other organized. But Miles, welcome to the 2022 1985 to 1995 movie draft. You are officially on the clock.
Before we take off, and you're probably going to kill me for this, I'm sorry. Can you make sure you have your onboard microphone not going and you're using your real mic? Because it doesn't sound like you are. That's definitely not what's getting hit.
Really?
Yep. You sound very fishbowl-y.
Okay. Well, that's just going to be the way it goes because I don't think I can change it unless I stop it.
You can, but you're right, because then you have to do that whole leaving and coming back thing. So don't do it. All right. Well,
right. No.
All right. If you're good with it, I'm good with it.
So if I do this, you can't.
No difference.
It doesn't make a difference.
Nope. So you can just set your mic down.
Great.
All right.
I don't know what audio's picking up.
There was some like warning message for like a split second on your screen. It said that there's some USB issue.
Oh. All right. Well, whatever. Miles, you got a bunch of bonus time, so you can decide on your first pick.
I was going to say, one, truly, I'm going to use my time liberally. I feel like we have a lot of it. I was truly dreading the first pick because there's a lot on the line.
I didn't want the first pick either. I didn't want the first pick either.
This is a terrible spot to be in.
Well, I was ready for like, I have, knowing I could have 1, 2, 3, or 4 to go in the pick. I don't even want those 4. Like, I don't want to make my first pick, and I'll have at least one that I'm like, that's a good first pick for me, and I don't want to do it.
Right. So that's the thing, right? Because again, I would also like to preface in our email thread, which was very entertaining, by the way. My preface to this whole thing was Blockbuster on a Friday night and you're picking up a movie. Mm-hmm. What's the go-to, right? 85 to 95. So I'm going to contextualize all of this because, again, I get first pick, and so I'm going to use the floor. That being said, because I have a mixture of obscure, which we're going to come to, but if we're doing 4 rounds, I'm going to go classic. First pick of the draft, I'm going Princess Bride.
Oh, you son of a bitch. God, I thought for sure I was going to have it with the second pick.
Inconceivable. It's going.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I can't believe this interview is over.
I'm so glad that it hit that hard. Oh, that makes
He's got a list of a whole bunch of old man movies. Don't worry about it.
I got a good list, but that was number 1.
Yeah.
The first movie I put down, and then I had to go back because I wasn't. That's a 1987 film, but I had to go back and make sure that's the first round pick.
Yeah,
that should have been everybody's first round.
Anytime it's on, right?
It's not mine because we'll get to the contextualizing why it wasn't mine. Because remember, I was only 2 years old, and then it's going to Blockbuster on a Friday night. What do you rent? Now, to cheat a little bit, it's because I had a recorded copy of it, so I didn't have to rent it. But that's why I didn't make my number 1 round. But it's in the book.
Bill's picks are going to be like Little Mermaid, Lion King. Those are that. If they're age appropriate,
I do have Lion King on the list to cover that category, but that was going to be an honorable mention, giving the credit where credit's due. The list is too extensive to include it in the draft.
Fair.
I mean, truly incredible film. Oh
my God. It's a perfect movie. Yeah. It's an absolutely perfect movie. All right, so my turn now. I'm going to go my first pick. I'm just going to go Goonies, 1985 classic.
Another solid pick. Solid pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going to go Goonies. Goonies never die, Bill. I don't know if you saw that one. You were only 2. And you can't watch movies.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this? The point of the draft is what you go like. This is what happens when you do these things with Chris. It's the answer is his answer or his new BFF of the day's answer, or it's wrong. And it's like the contextual experience of what did you go rent on a Friday night? And it's like, sorry, I did have a wheelhouse of an age group that I like to rent from. That's why Princess Bride. Did I like it? Did I watch it? Yes, which I said multiple times. But that's why it's not on my draft list, because I was 2 and it didn't hit the same as these other things on my list. So shut up, Chris. Number 3. Number 3.
So you're getting a peek. Everyone's getting a peek of the email thread, basically.
I love how aggressive this is already starting. This might be my favorite thing.
I could not pick my number 1 movie, but I'm just going to go with my gut. And 1995 classic, still quoted often to this day by me, Tommy Boy.
Oh, that's a really good pick.
Great.
That was on my list.
Very good pick.
It's a good pick.
Very good pick.
Yep.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years, you know?
Yeah, they're called doctors.
Your brain has a shell on it.
Richard, what's happening?
Don't run away from your feelings. I mean, it's
So good.
endless list that I use on a regular basis still today.
Again, the original memes of quoting movies back and forth with one another. That's
For sure. For sure. All right, Mark, you're up.
Oof, spot on. I was worried that Miles was going to take mine with the first overall. I'm going to go with heavyweights.
Good one.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do that. Oh,
Wait, what is Bill? You know heavyweights? I don't know heavyweights.
It's because it fits in the right age range for us.
oh,
Yeah.
Chris,
Really?
you are in for a treat.
What
my
is heavy?
friend.
94 or 3?
It was 94 or 95. It was right on the back end of the range.
Okay, yeah.
Give me what's the plot? What's the who's in it? Give me the quick IMDb summary.
Adam Sandler. Or not Adam Sandler.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Ben
One
Stiller.
would argue is like a precursor or setup for the future works of Dodgeball. There's a similar character.
Yeah.
And it's
Very
all these
similar
kids
character.
go off to a fat camp. And it's, brutal. The kids hate it. They're treated terrible. And they stage sort of like a coup, if you will. And Ben Stiller is like the leader of the fat camp. It's very, very funny.
Oh, okay. I'll add it to the list. I have
It's amazing.
not experienced heavyweights.
I got my 6-year-old to watch it a couple months ago. It was a proud dad moment for me.
I love those movies. My dad did the same thing to me with he would sit me down and have me watch Stripes or what was the other one that he loved? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on it now. The rockumentary, Bill.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. And I was like 6 and I didn't get any of the jokes. But as you watch it more and more and more, you're like, oh, you start to catch some more.
That's
fun.
Spinal Tap's another one that is. God, I wish it was in the right date range. It would have been my number one. I still quote that one.
For sure.
Yeah.
So good.
For sure.
So good.
Yeah. All right, Mark, you got the 5th pick now. We're going the other direction.
It's a lot of pressure back-to-back picks. I was going to ask the clarifying question. If we take one movie in a trilogy, do we have to pick one or do we get the whole trilogy?
I was having the same, and I wonder if you're going to pick the one I'm thinking of. There's 2 big ones that jump out to me in the date range. And
You have to pick one Back to the Future. That's what you're asking.
there's
Yeah,
3.
you're-
There's,
It is not Back to the Future.
but
Okay.
that's right. But that's
Only
the
one.
thing. I think I know because the reality is one might argue one's usually the leader of that pack. So in the draft, why would you go be like, well, you picked one, I'll pick 2. So I am almost inclined to say you get all of them.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
I don't think
love it.
look at your list. It's not going to matter.
I'm here to
Mighty Ducks.
game whoever picked which one?
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
That's a great one.
No,
I had it.
You stole Bill's pick. Yeah.
No, it's on there, but I'm okay with it because I got a million other ones. Like I'm more excited for the honorable mentions portion of this to get through the draft and the stress and all the other great things we didn't pick.
But you have to, Mark, the rule is then next time you watch Mighty Ducks, you have to watch them all straight through.
D2 would have been my single pick.
Yep.
And that's why I think that you should have had to pick one because I would have ostracized you had you picked the wrong one. And D2 is the right pick.
Oh, I think you still have to name what your anchor is if you pick a whole trilogy per se.
Okay.
Like,
I love it. Perfect.
right.
Cool.
That's
I'm
a
glad
good
that we
pick.
clarified the rules as we're going through this. This is good.
That's fine.
Okay,
Fine.
yeah, right.
Oh boy, number 2. Ooh, God. There's so many. Oh God. Here's one. Top Gun. 1988.
All right.
Top
That's
Gun.
great.
I'm trying to spread it out a lot and not stick to a theme in my movies. But Top
Yeah,
Gun was an
yeah.
older one. I probably got showed at an age way too early to be appropriate. And I loved it. How could you not? And so I just I want to rent Top Gun, Highway to the Danger Zone. Kelly McGillis awkwardly licking Tom Cruise's neck and making me uncomfortable. Like, why not?
Yeah, so watching with your parents type of thing.
I don't even remember. I just know it. I was so into the movie, and Maverick driving the motorcycle like with the jet, like that's something people do.
What do you mean? That's what I did when I was in the Air Force. I took my my Ninja SX 550 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Did you just use the name of a GPS device for golf and say that was the name of a motorcycle?
I might have combined. Ninja is a
Ninjas, but SX 550 is the Sky Caddy device, if I'm not mistaken.
The GPS system. Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, I'm gonna go, and it's all like I already feel guilty and like I made a bad pick because there's so many good ones, but I'm gonna go Top Gun. Why not?
Right.
No, it's a classic. There's no shame in that.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick. I'm gonna go just because I'm a grunge kid. So Singles.
Oh,
that's my second pick.
Forgot about that. It reminded me of another one. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, I know. I have that one on the list too. But yeah, Singles for sure. Pearl Jam is in the movie as part of Citizen Dick, the band. So.
When you started saying grunge, I thought you were going to pick something totally else, totally different, and I'm wondering.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm wondering if it's if it makes the list.
It's on the list, but it's not. It wasn't going to be in on my draft board.
Okay.
Oh,
all right, Miles. Back-to-back picks for you.
Man. Okay. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's very good. Very good. I probably should have waited on Singles. I could have got that later in the draft.
Yeah,
with you three kids. I don't even know. Yeah. But that's a good pick. Ferris Bueller's is fantastic, and it was filmed in Chicago, right? Like right over here.
Yeah, amazing.
Did you know that? Oh, I guess to be fair, they're from Minnesota, so maybe it doesn't ring as topical.
They go to Wrigley, don't they?
They do, yeah. They go to Wrigley. They actually, when they do the parade, it was right outside my old office, like right down the street. And Bill, do you remember during the pandemic, like during the first 2 weeks of the lockdown, when people would go we went for a ride, like because there was nothing to do. So my wife and I went for a drive up the North Shore, and we saw like Michael Jordan's house, we saw the Home Alone house. And we stopped over and saw Cameron's house.
You go through those ravines and Winnetka or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there. Exact same. That garage is actually, I think, the living room of that house. Where the Ferrari goes through the windows.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so back to back. This is where I start to fray out. I had those first two locked. Spaceballs is going to be my other one.
God,
another good pick.
You're having a hell of a draft, Miles. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Thank you.
You're having a hell of a draft.
I feel really good. I mean, again, I let off with a lot of confidence. I was really scared about getting that reaction. Now I feel like I'm just hitting a rhythm. So I appreciate it, guys.
It's interesting though, because I still think it's funny. Everybody definitely has sort of is already leaning towards a window in time, an era, and definitely I don't know. To me, Spaceballs, Ferris Bueller, while they're nowhere near the same movies, it's sort of I don't know. They seem to almost have a similar character package to them. You can picture the movie boxes on the shelf at Blockbuster, and graphically and designs for that time, they look the same, a little more cardboardy. Yeah.
Right. All right, I'm up. Oh, man. Okay, so I've got the Goonies. I've got Singles. This is tough, man. God, we could have gone 10 rounds probably without even.
Easy.
Yeah.
I have 10 rounds of number one picks from my number one picks.
Right. I'm going to do, God. Jesus. I'm going to do Coming to America, 1988.
Oh, it's so good.
Eddie Murphy classic. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. With McDowell's and the whole thing.
That wasn't even on my list, but man, it should have been.
That was watched a lot.
Yeah, that's such
a lot.
Yep. Good pick.
So I have one that I want to pick because it truly is. I didn't own it. It was a weird movie I only knew about because someone told me about it in my family. and it was like a go to Blockbuster. It's the only place I was going to get it. There's only one copy of it. I was lucky if it was ever on the shelf, but I just don't know if it's going to grab the hearts of people in the draft. And then I have somewhere I feel like I'm pandering, so I don't want to pick that.
I mean, my fourth pick is going to be a purely personal pick. I don't give a shit who likes it or who doesn't.
Well, ultimately, these are all personal picks for me. Like I will not waver on that. I'm going to go with, for my third pick, and this is probably going to be where I fit in the age, but the movie Airborne with Seth Green, Jack Black.
Oh man,
because it wasn't on TV. I don't know how long it was in the theaters, but it's very good. He was a surfer from the guy Mitchell Guzin, surfer from California. His parents are archaeologists, and they're not going to be home, so they got to send him to live with his cousin in Cincinnati, who's Seth Green, the wily man. So there he takes up. They play hockey at the school, right? And they have like the kind of like the meathead hockey guys. They're not really jocks. It's hard to explain, but he's not fitting in. He tries to play hockey and it doesn't go well, and has somebody send out his rollerblades. And this is like right when like aggressive inline skating was becoming a thing. So he's like riding half pipes, going to skate parks and stuff, and being like a cool skater guy. Ends up being the cool California kid, and everybody loves him, and ends up in this big race because Jack Black and the meathead hockey players adopt him to play against like the jock hockey players, and that turns into like a battle of the races in Hilly, Cincinnati. Probably 94, something in there. It was.
So is this like was this like Gleaming the Cube but for rollerblades?
Kind of.
Like,
and this was.
It wasn't a slapstick comedy, even though it was Jack Black and Seth Green.
Right, and there was very much comedy in it, but it's exactly what it is. Gleaming the Cube, but surfing, inline skating in the early 90s. Still awesome. Like if I was scanning through the TV and it popped on, I would still watch it. And again, early Jack Black, some beautiful moments of comedy from him, as you would expect. But that was one. I mean, it would be like, hey, we're going to Blockbuster to pick out movies. I'm like, great. Oh, I can't think of what I want to get. Airborne. I'm gonna get it, and it was great every time. So that's like kind of a sentimental pick, and really embodies the. This isn't a classic movie. This isn't everybody under the sun. But when you told me you're renting a movie on Friday night at Blockbuster at 9 years old or whatever, that was a go-to. I loved it. And I saw Marcus's reaction. He knew the movie.
Yeah. Well, you'd get a kick out of this. About an hour ago, I was showing my kids a couple trailers of movies that were on my list. Airborne was one of them.
I knew it. The video that Hannah sent me, I knew that was.
And my son was like, "We're watching this tonight," and I was like, "It's almost 8:00. We have to go to bed." But it's on his list for this weekend that he wants to watch Airborne for the first time, which will be awesome.
So, way to be brave, by the way. Way to be brave and just put yourself out there. That was very brave of you.
It's true. That was not a pandering pick.
It was not.
That was a heartfelt, meaningful pick.
I'm already feeling guilty with one pick left of all the things though I didn't pick in the third round, and it won't get to the fourth round. Yeah, it's bad.
Like I can't believe I scrolled past so many of these other movies to get to some of my picks. It's crazy.
Well, Bill will influence my next pick then, because I had two in the very same genre. I was very much into ninjas.
I know
when this time frame was.
I know what they are, and I bet I have them. And that was one of my like.
There's one big one that I'm not going to take off the board.
Okay.
That was a big favorite. There's one that is my Airborne to you, Bill.
Whichever one you pick, I guarantee you I know the other one. Like I'll be like, then he didn't pick this one. Go.
This one is called Sidekicks.
Yeah. Yep.
You know that one?
It's not what I thought you were going to pick, but I remember it. But
I think I rented it from Blockbuster 10 times between the ages of like 8 and 10. It is basically the Karate Kid with a lot of cameos by Chuck Norris.
Yeah, it's so good. It's
Incredible.
What's his name? It's Lucas from SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Or not SeaWorld.
Exactly.
What was it with
Free Willy?
No, Sequest, the TV show. Another 90s TV show, Sequest.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you watch the trailer for it, you're probably going to watch it this weekend. Right. It is.
I got a couple things to watch. There have been 3 picks that I've never seen.
Man, I want to spoil that movie so bad with just the clutch and feel good ending. But I won't. Just because I want to talk about it with you. Anyway.
So I had to make it so it was back-to-back personal choices, not big popular ones.
This is a great pick.
I think, is this the 4th round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
you
final round.
All right. Yeah. Now you got another one.
This is your last pick of the draft.
I'm gonna have to go with Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, I can't believe that went that late.
Rounded out.
Honestly.
It was up. Yeah, it was up there for me.
Fit.
Yeah, it was gonna be. Yeah. It was gonna be Tommy Boy or Dumb and Dumber first, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't. I already picked Tommy Boy. I felt like they were too close. I couldn't do it. But again, another one. I'm assuming you do the same. Like, still a regular quote machine for me today.
Totally.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, and that movie too. Just like. It shifted. It was kind of like Airplane, it like shifted the kind of jokes that people would start to make in movies. Like, you didn't see a lot of that stuff.
No, you're right. You're dead on. You're dead on with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Until the Dumb and Dumber and Kingpin and those guys started doing that stuff. Like, holy shit, these jokes are just incredible.
I felt. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, 90s Jim Carrey was like epically good.
Unbelievable.
Epically good.
Yeah. And hey, shout out Jeff Bridges, who was like a theater actor.
I know.
And he's like, I want to do this really stupid movie.
Jeff Daniels.
Sorry, Jeff Daniels. Yeah. Thank you for fact checking me.
Well, that movie deserves to be respected. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right.
Just for his performance in the diarrhea scene alone, like.
But this dude, he's like a legit. He wasn't like this Jim Carrey kind of, goof. He was like a real actor, and he decided to do this really stupid character. It was great.
So good.
Good end, Marcus. Good fourth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. I don't know how do I pick one. I am going to go with. I want to pick a ninja movie just to see if there's a one, but I'm gonna go with. I'm going to go with Hook with Robin Williams.
Oh,
Hook.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay. Is that a sentimental pick too?
No, yes and no, actually.
Okay.
Now that you ask me, it kind of is. I don't have to go into it if you don't want me to, but I feel like it has everything. It has laughs, it has drama, it has fear, it has love, it has everything. Brilliant performance.
Yeah, great cast too, right?
Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams. Can't think of.
Was it Julia Roberts that played
Pink?
Yeah.
The guy. He gave the world Rufio. It's so good.
And as you know, Bill, this is probably from your Dawson's Creek rewatch, but that was a Steven Spielberg, right?
Yeah. And that led me down to God, I got to make sure I don't put all the Steven Spielbergs on here just because I watched Dawson's Creek. But I'm happy I got Hook. I'm really happy with my list overall. But there's just so many not getting the respect they deserve, and I feel upset already.
I know, like you said, Bill, the honorable mentions of this, because Chris, do you have a ninja movie on your list?
I don't. I was going to ask, were ninjas a thing?
There was
that I missed.
There's
I know there was I know the Ninja Turtles were a thing, clearly, but
what would you say? 88 to 93 just was real ninja heavy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had no idea.
Marcus, the one he picked, was not what I was thinking when he said one of two, but deserves to be on a list. So that means there are two very specific ones. I'm interested to see if they don't come out. But
God, yeah, I had no idea there's this ninja phenomenon during the early 90s.
Of course,
All right, my turn. It's my turn to finish up here. This one is certainly, I think it was only in the theaters for like a week, but Clerks is my number 4
Such a
pick.
good movie.
God, that was a high school movie for us. I think it was at 93 or something like that, 94, and when that thing came out on video, that was our go-to at Blockbuster. Like if nothing else was in, let's just grab Clerks again and watch it a billion times because it was just amazing.
And I want to say Chasing Amy and Mallrats still fell in the window, right? Or did one of those get into 90? Maybe Chasing Amy got to 96.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, I didn't see again due to age. Like the value of those Kevin Smith movies didn't hit me until I was older. So Clerks like was never on. It would be I'd see it at Blockbuster and be like, it doesn't appeal to me yet, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we would say I'm not even supposed to be here today about anything.
Oh yeah,
that was Dante's line all the time. We would say it for like all the time. Like if we get a bad grade in Spanish, be like, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you and I say that to each other all like on a regular basis when we're kind of doing something on a whim. We'll both be like, I wasn't supposed to be here today.
Yeah. All right, Miles, close it out. Close out the 2022 85 to 95 movie draft.
Okay, so I'm glad that no one went this route. Like I said, I had a ninja movie on there, but it's not better than this. I'm a firm believer in that. And I can't believe that nobody picked any movie from this actor in one of their top 4. But this one's also for my wife, so shout out to Miranda. Son-in-Law is my 4th pick.
Yes. Awesome movie.
That's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Encino Man was like probably going to be my 5th pick.
So
because Encino Man was fucking bomb.
I don't have Encino Man because when I went down that rabbit hole with Son-in-Law, I went, well, I already have another one on the list from said actor with In the Army Now. So
also good.
And if you give me those 3, I liked in that order. Actually, you could convince me I liked In the Army Now more. Son-in-Law, and I'm like, all right, I got a lot of movies, better not put Encino Man on here too. So I'm not going to get to it.
Just the scene of Pauly Shore walking onto the deck where the grandpa was whittling wood and him just saying, "Can I whittle wood with you sometime, buddy?"
I mean, that dude had one bit, and he made what? We just mentioned 4 movies out of that, like 3 movies out of that. He did Biodome too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Biodome.
Yeah, and that was like that was just his shtick, and they just kept making movies with that dude.
Yeah.
God bless him.
I love that. I loved Biodome too. That was a regular, I didn't put on my, just because I forgot it, didn't make my list, but Biodome was another regular rental for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, there was a spell. I was renting In the Army Now, Biodome, and Son-in-Law on repeat. It's just like go return one to get the other one, and then be like, "What do you mean you're out of it? When's it due back?" They don't even have to rewind it. I'll do it. I just want the movie.
I also feel like those movies were that was like an early days TBS where they would just play, like as soon as the movie ended, they would start it over again. I feel like it was on television all the time.
I mean,
Son-in-Law for sure. Son-in-Law would be on whatever Paramount Now, whatever it was, would be on there, and it'd be on like CMT a lot because you'd be going through the menu and be like, I don't watch CMT, but Son-in-Law's on. Hell yeah, I'll watch that.
Right.
I mean,
so for honorable mentions, the hard part is I feel like we could talk about all of these in depth, and I guess we have time, but I kind of just want to hear what everybody had on theirs and just like go through your list. My ninja movies were 3 Ninjas.
That was it.
And Surf Ninjas.
Remember Surf Ninjas? Yeah, so good.
And the Surf Ninjas guy was the guy in. You'll have to forgive me. I can't remember which one now. If it was
Rob Schneider, right?
No, yeah, but the one teenager, the main guy, was either in the first Ninja Turtles movie or the second one. I can't remember which. Like teenage guy. But
so wait, was Surf Ninjas? I mean, clearly it was ninjas that surfed. And
you nailed it.
Did they ninja'd as they surfed?
No,
did
it's like there were
guys on
surfer
surfboards, or
guys
was
that sort of like the premise was it was like the video game would come into life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
was
so
part of it. Yep.
they kind of found themselves in real life in the premise of this video game that, if I'm not mistaken, the kid played on Game Gear.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're like, it's coming to real life, and they had to fight it off as ninjas, but they're just surf kids, so it was a silly premise, but it was fun.
Like what is that, like a 1988? It feels like 1988.
No, probably more like 92, 93.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Three Ninjas was a big one to go to Blockbuster and be like, what are God, I can't remember the older kid's name, but what are
Rocky Tum
up to?
Yeah.
And tell me this, like to this day, I still be like, choked on a jelly bean. Because like in the movie when Tum, so Chris in the movie, there's three boys. It's not their grandpa they stay with, or is it? I don't remember. The old guy they stay with, and he's like teaching them martial arts. They're sleeping at night and like bunk beds in a room. It's dark, and all of a sudden, the youngest one, Tum Tum, just goes out of nowhere, choked on a jelly bean, and the other two just start cracking up, and you can tell it was improvised or something because the kids just naturally like had an honest crack up at it. Yeah. And it's funny when that's with an 11-year-old and 8-year-old actor or whatever, you know?
Oh my God.
But yeah.
Now, where are the three ninjas now? Did any of them go on to do other things?
Of course not.
No.
Which, by the way, if you guys haven't, I feel like it did go viral recently on social media. Go rewatch the basketball scene with when Rocky and Cole play basketball. It is horrible.
Amazing.
But yeah, Three Ninjas was a big one. All right, I want to hear a list. Who wants to go first? Honorable mention.
Mark, you go.
Yeah, Marcus, you were first. You threw it.
I had a couple categories. So I was a big sports and ninja guy. So I have a sports list. So Rookie of the Year, Big Green, and Ladybugs were three that didn't make it.
God, what's his face was in Ladybugs too. He's in a lot of those nights. Mm-hmm. I think he's dead now, right? He died.
Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah.
Yes. Him. No. The boy and lady, the Sequest kid that we alluded to earlier that was in Sidekicks.
Oh, that's right. He is bad. He is in that.
So there's that. So all good picks. Really good picks.
Did you see the kid from Rookie of the Year throughout the first pitch at the Cubs game?
And like want to feel old? Yeah. He's 42.
Yeah.
It makes you feel really old watching that.
Yeah, I'm still older than him, so.
Then a couple others I had. These are all just more personal, nostalgic picks, but Blank Check was a big one for me.
Good.
I was wondering if you were going to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
That was
a close one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife forces that on our kids, or most of my older daughter, all the time, and she just doesn't care. And especially because I say this all the time, like a lot of the airplane era movies just don't translate for me. They're just I'm not into them. Christmas Story, that stuff, like I just don't see it. It just doesn't register for me. And likewise, like Intern Grant, maybe he's an exception, but it'll be like, no man, Tommy Boy, Dumb and Dumber, these movies are hilarious. He's like, take it easy, old man. They're not that funny. So same thing. My wife will be to my daughter like, oh, Blank Check. This is so fun. Great. And first off, my daughter doesn't even know what a check is, Two, in this day and age where it's just like the world's at your fingertips, the concept of this kid has all this money because he has blank checks to do whatever he wants with it. Like, it just doesn't translate to her. And she's like, this isn't that fun for me. My wife gets so upset she doesn't care about it. No, I know. You guys want to watch this movie, Blank Check, and they're like, Mom, for the last time, we don't.
Miles, what was on your list that didn't get picked?
So I went a bit obscure. Three Ninjas was on it. That was my ninja one. But the obscurities that didn't quite make it, because there's a little hesitancy. Are they going to land or not? Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Mm-hmm. That's on my list for sure.
It's just so weird, right? You're a kid. Your parents would watch it and they like get all the jokes, and you're a kid and you're like, it's all kind of bright colors and goofy. And Pee-wee's like not Pee-wee at that point, right? So,
Right.
so it was cool. So Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Sports side of it, Sandlot.
It's on mine.
Yeah, that was on my list too. Yep.
But
I almost went Sandlot first and second round. It was good.
Sandlot. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't make. I mean, there were some really good movies picked. Don't get me wrong.
But
then Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
David Bowie's Labyrinth.
Ooh, that didn't make my list, but that's a really good one. Yeah.
Right,
that's a good one.
Yeah. And then you also have to do like an ode to Minnesota. So House Guest and Sinbad.
Yes.
God, I forgot about that movie.
Jingle All the Way, right?
Yeah, it's 96. Jingle All the Way. Almost
new,
Drop Dead Fred was another one.
I was thinking of that one, and I'm like, God, I couldn't remember enough of it to remember what it was called, but I felt like also that means it wasn't on my rental list, so I couldn't in good faith put it on in the notebook.
Yeah. Drop Dead Fred. And then the last one that I'll do, because I only had one series. I knew that Mighty Ducks was going to come up in your world, Marcus, so I left that off. But The Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, Naked Gun was on mine too, for sure.
He's a treasure.
Oh my God. That was another one where there was the same guys that did Airplane, I think, right? But that one also pushed the envelope on jokes too. Like when he looks up the ladder and he says, "Nice beaver."
Yep.
Like, thanks, I just got it stuffed. Damn it.
I for some reason, like the scene of O.J. Simpson going down the bleacher steps.
Oh my God, that's right.
In the wheelchair and then just getting ejected and
launched. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my honorable mentions. Like I said, the more obscure, Yeah.
Good ones. Good ones. Chris, what were your honorable mentions?
I mean, I just had a whole list of them, but like some of the stuff that didn't get picked, like Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do that one. The Great Outdoors.
That's a good one.
None of the Back to the Futures. Wayne's World.
Both on my list, yeah.
Didn't get picked. And then some of the more like, were you thinking about Reality Bites when I said singles?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was kind of going back and forth because.
And then I had a moment.
I really love Reality Bites.
God damn it, I love Lisa Loeb.
But then Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction both came out during that era, which are just insanely good movies.
I thought about Reservoir Dogs too, but I'm like, you know what? I wasn't renting it at that time. I rented it as I got older, and when we were,
that's fair.
I was getting yelled at by Chris over this. Like, again, it was life and death when we were just talking about this draft and parameters or not. He said Reservoir Dogs. Mike, he'll probably want to pick Reservoir Dogs, so I won't put it on my list because I don't deserve to have it. So I don't. I mean that part sincerely. Like, I don't. Chris brought it up. It was more in his timeline of blockbuster rentals in those years. So,
man, Reservoir Dogs blew us away. It just blew me away. It's just incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like the first movie I can remember that was like out of order and all weird, and like the soundtrack was awesome. Like, yeah, so good.
Usual Suspects would have been right there for me too, Chris.
Usual Suspects that's on my list too.
Yeah,
but Dazed and Confused, Goodfellas, Casino. I mean, these are all. I mean, if you look at the timeline of these movies,
right? But see,
like,
I bet you were renting. Well, I don't know, and I'm not busting balls here. It might be you were older, so you were renting these. But like to me, I ran into. Was I renting these movies, or they're just movies I really like from the era? For instance, I have the whole John Hughes section of Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, Say Anything, St. Elmo's Fire. Loved all those movies.
Say Anything's another one.
But aside from Pretty in Pink, and I have a sister 6 years older than me, so that's where I got a lot of influence from her. I didn't love those movies till I was older. So I'm like, those are more classic, not my rental movies, you know? So it's tough.
Fair.
You get into what was I renting and watching, and what are movies I just love from that era. Back to the Future is a great pick. Now I left this on my notebook. This one, not because it meets the draft criteria, because I wrote it before the criteria existed. But I'm curious if it lands with anyone else. I know what you did last summer for one reason. Shout out as an 85, born in 85. Shout out Jennifer Love Hewitt in that era. All right. It was like you could put,
she was a thing. She was something.
You put her in anything in about 2000,
And they tried to.
Yeah,
they did.
They did. 98 to 2000. It's just we couldn't ask for anymore. So, but I wanted to.
And that's Bill. That's our guy. That's our guy that wrote that created Dawson's Creek.
Right.
I know what you're doing.
Right, exactly. When I thought about that when you brought that up recently, I'm like, Jennifer Love Hewitt, what's up? But some other ones I was renting and watching: Empire Records, Clueless, the Turtles movies. Now here's this obscure one for you guys. You remember the movie First Night?
Yeah. That's what's his name?
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere, right?
And Sean Connery, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. It was Sean Connery.
There's something weird about that movie. I had to watch all the time, but Ace Ventura movies, Field of Dreams, Terminator 2 and 7. Where those I
wasn't sure what year 7 came out. What year did 7
It's like 92 or 3. It's something super. Yeah. And it was one of those movies. You always had that friend whose parents, they knew what they were doing and they're renting them the movies they shouldn't be renting them. And that's how I saw Terminator 2 and 7, obviously giving me nightmares. But I saw that at way too early of and probably not 92. I bet you it was 94.
We saw 7. My friends and I saw 7 in the theater, but we had no idea what it was about. And we walked out of the theater and went to our cars separately and went home, and no one said a word after the movie.
Can't talk to you.
We were all messed up, man. We're like, I just got to go home. I want to go home.
Do you know what movie I'm surprised no one picked? Oh, by the way, in the classics, I'm but I wasn't renting them. Shout out Boys in the Hood. That movie was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And no one.
Have you guys seen UHF? The movie UHF?
I haven't
heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch your movies. You guys need to go watch UHF. It's Weird Al's movie. It's Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't watch it, but I know Weird Al had a movie.
It's amazing. That was another one where we would rent. That was one of our backups. My brother and I, if there's nothing new, we would just let's watch UHF because it was early days of Kramer what's his name? Michael Richards. Playing Stanley Spadowski. He had a bit part in there. So it's a bunch of I don't want to say skits. There is a theme to it, but yeah, got it.
Can I throw another Michael Richards film at you that I thought could make someone's list? And I thought when you said grunge, before you said singles, it might be this one, the movie Airheads.
Yeah, also great.
Great movie. Also that was a popular rental by me. I can't believe no one picked Speed. Speed with Sandra Bullock and her really rise to fame starting there, but
that was it.
Yeah. Who wasn't in love?
What a plot. I mean, try to pitch that movie there's a bus and there's a bomb and they can't drive whatever it was less than 50 miles an hour. 55 miles an hour. And they're like, yeah, we'll make that movie.
Oh,
put Keanu Reeves in it.
And Dumb and Dumber fame, Jeff Daniels was in it. He was Keanu Reeves' partner who gets blown up.
That's right.
So that was a good one. And then
spoilers, man. Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. No one said Coneheads. I thought that would get on there. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the good Killer one. Bryan Adams theme song.
Yeah.
And then Field of Dreams was there.
You said Field of Dreams.
Oh, sorry. Okay. There's this little section here. Backdraft. That was another great one.
That was a big deal too when it came out.
But yeah, I just think, God, so many goddamn good movies.
So many good ones.
There's also Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Jurassic Park, Shawshank Redemption too.
Yeah.
I mean,
God, Shawshank. I can almost do that one word for word because it's on. If I call it getting Shawshanked. If Shawshank is on and I come across, I'm like, well, I have to watch this. And it stays on. I can watch it to the end. It doesn't matter at what point. I got Shawshank today. I had to watch Shawshank for 3 hours on TNT.
You had to do it. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, and
next time you're gonna get sidekicked.
Marcus, as a sports movie guy, this was the one I didn't say that I would go and get because it was the only place I could get it at Blockbuster. My parents didn't have, and no one knew about it. The movie Youngblood. No, anyone? Rob Lowe, hockey movie. He plays
hockey movie. Yeah,
in Canada, he plays juniors, grows up in the farm. It's all just fighting and Keanu Reeves, and there's a lot of people in it. There's a weird There's like a weird Mrs. Robinson theme. It's a weird movie that like 8-year-old me should not have been allowed to watch, but I did. And then, of course, like every hockey kid on the bus, you watch Slapshot, you watch Miracle, you watch Youngblood. It's just, those are the movies. So Youngblood was a big blockbuster one, but couldn't beat my top 4.
Yeah, the one sports one that won my son's draft was Little Giants.
That's a good one.
Oh,
that one won. At the end, he's like, "We need to watch that right now."
What was the girl's name? Icebox.
Icebox. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God. I was gonna say we're an hour in, so if you want, guys, where can they find these towels that are right here behind me and these hats that Bill and I are wearing? Give all your information.
Do you even find this hat anymore? The Big Paul Energy hat?
We came dangerously close to being out. We actually had to stop selling those for like a hot moment because they were just flying off the shelves the last show that we did. But now we're back in stock and we have them in white. That's my fun little plug for Noonan Golf. Big Paul black.
Does it have the thing under the bill too?
Oh, you bet it does.
I might need to.
As I say,
to procure one of those because that is a dope ass hat.
Sold.
The funny story. Did you tell him the story? I don't know if you did. When we went to, didn't we go to the indoor driving to the simulator? Bill and I did, and he walks up to me. And he's like, "Well, this is awkward," and we're both wearing this one.
That's awesome.
Like,
we love to hear that.
Yeah, whatever, man. Yeah.
Well, you get to the point where it's like, I don't know. I should for the promo, but it's like you don't want to wear your own brand everywhere. So it's like these guys are cool and they're nice hats. Noonan Golf, it is. Because you also want to be like, I don't know, like Titleist, Galloway. Oh, I have the same golf hat everybody else has, but these. That's
the other thing too. Is like I don't wear golf brand stuff. That's why I love your guys' stuff so much. Like you wouldn't know it was a golf brand.
I mean, it's a golf ball and a tee right between.
So. I mean, my wife looks at this hat and she's like, "Oh my God, I love it."
Yeah.
She doesn't play golf. It's same with this thing. When she saw this towel, like this towel is sick. I can't tell you how many non-golfers when I posted this were like, "Shut up!" like everyone loved this S. Like,
yes.
I made that S everywhere. Yeah, dude.
The S hits, man. The S hits.
God. So good. Anyways, give your information. Do your. Like where are you guys online and stuff?
Yeah. So you can find us noonangolfco.com. We launched a few new things, as you said, right? We've got our breakfast club behind you, Chris, and our vapor rave on the other side. We've launched fairway covers too. You can also find us on social media where you can watch our fun friend Aaron do all the ridiculous things on TikTok or Instagram. And sign up for our email newsletter to get kind of first dibs on some of the stuff. Oh, yes. See, it's just
everybody's got it.
Yeah, we got it. That doesn't even include this one. I'm not sure if this one will ever honestly leave the house. I got to tell you, it's so perfect. I love it so much. I don't want to get it dirty. Maybe it'll just be like just something that sits in my bag. But if anyone goes near it, I'll be like, don't you dare touch a club to that thing.
One, that's where you get a little more controlling in your stuff. Like there's only a certain amount of people that can just go up to my golf bag and use my towel or be like, let me pull out a club and look at it. You, maybe Josh. Otherwise I'm like John Heisey. Otherwise I'm like, hey, I did not say you can use my towel. Like I saw you wiping your clubs. I'm like, that's my towel. And especially like, not to go down this rabbit hole, I'm superstitious about my golf towel for some reason after all these years. And don't ask me to explain it because I can't. So Chris, what you do, you take that Noonan towel, that's your like face and hands towel, right? Where you're just like, oh, I just need to get the sweat off my face. It's super gross and it's easy to clean.
Yeah.
That's what you use it for. It's perfect.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Other spot you can get our stuff is at local Minnesota and Wisconsin golf courses. So we're in 8 pro shops now.
Cool.
Man, look at you guys.
We'd love to expand to the Chicagoland area. So if anybody knows any courses where our stuff would look awesome, hit us up, Miles or Marcus at noonangolfco.com.
We know some guys. We'll send some information around.
Yes.
I think BH was born to have some of this stuff. quite honestly, Bill.
Just do it, Phil. All right, just do it. Just do what they say.
We know you watch the show, Phil. Just hit these guys up.
It's easy enough.
Perfect.
Chris, what do you have going on?
I don't have anything going on, man. I'm going to Arizona, and that's really it.
Okay, fair enough.
One of 2 trips to Arizona in the next 2 weeks.
Living the dream, as always. The struggle,
Yeah.
the Chris McEwen struggle is real, guys. What can I tell you?
Hey, I had to sell. I told you I had to sell those 1 tickets. I'm going to see Pearl Jam next weekend. This week I'm just going to hang out with my family, but next week I'm going back to see Pearl Jam. I was supposed to be going to San Diego to see Pearl Jam too, but didn't work out, so I had to sell those tickets. It's a bummer. So the struggle is real.
I hope you make it. Hope you make it. If you guys are feeling crazy, you can go to dryrangeheroes.com and check out this week's sub 70 TA3 254 putter review. Good news. Right as the review comes out, they are sold out. So you're just going to have to wait to buy new ones when they get back in stock. And then as we're hitting the spring season here, John Heisey's recapped his winter of golf. And Chris, if you thought you got away and did some golf, man, this guy had himself a winter. It's a good fun read, some good fun pictures at cool courses. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's Chris McEwen at Chris McEwen on social medias. I'm Bill Bush at Range Heroes. The Noonan Golf guys at Noonan.
Thanks, fellas.
Noonan Golf Co. Right at Noonan Golf Co. All the social medias.
Yes.
Go follow them. Do it. All right. They're the best. Love their stuff.
There'll be links down here too.
Yeah. Go down below while you're hitting subscribe and the bell and giving us a like and leaving a comment. Hit that link and go check out their stuff. All right. This has been the Range Lifer Show, sometimes about golf. Thank you for joining us this week, whether you were listening, watching, whatever. We appreciate it. Tell your friends. We'll see you next week.